right. Who remembers what the hell happened last session? Does anybody remember?
Hero.
There was
I
some
had very
great
poor
role
notes.
playing.
Wait, stop. Before you say anything, hold on. This is session 15, I want to say?
GM of the year.
Anybody?
Isn't
This
it
is
56?
crap, it's 16. Crap. So this is session 16.
That's negative
of Hell's
points.
You can fix this in post, right?
No, I could stop and
He
restart.
doesn't edit anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's post.
I mean, I guess.
It can be like Prost, really.
Prost, yeah. Session 16 of Hell's Vengeance, Chapter 4.
Take two.
Take two. For Queen and Empire, everybody, Chapter 4 of the Hell's Vengeance Adventure Path. Again, not that you're doing anything for Queen or Empire. You're an Agorian, and who remembers what the hell happened last session?
We got a Chotch factory.
You got a Chotch factory. You bought an abandoned warehouse.
We got the precursor to a Chotch factory.
That's correct. And Paul, the Italian guy, the realtor you talked about, didn't seem interested in your Chotch idea. He seemed that's like a lower class drink. He doesn't know who you're going to be selling it to, but ultimately he doesn't care as long as he gets his commission. So, what are you doing with that? How'd that go?
It went okay. I got a little discount paying in cash and demanding I speak to the owner, Peter Property Owner.
Peter Property
Peter
Owner,
Property.
that's right, of the great property owner family.
Peter Property Owner did not have any character artists. I remember it.
No,
Yeah,
Peter Property Owner does not have any character
We were
art.
asking for it.
I have
We
not.
have been asking for it since the last session.
It's true. In one of my many failures as a GM, I have not expanded upon the property owner family of Cheliax.
All right.
I will do my best going forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
What else happened? You did that. That's true. That is a thing that happened. What else happened?
So at the beginning, Nero split from the party and headed to where the warehouse full of halflings was, to give himself a plausible reason to be out of the inn and not be tied to the
Murder.
goings on in case there was questioning. The goings on, we're going to
The
call it.
goings on.
Vors got invisible through Iwin to sneak into the inn. He slipped back in with Maisel. In the morning, she invites Nero to breakfast, and they tripod the thing. She's really interested in the law stuff. Nero freeing slaves after breakfast. Nero sort of corners Vors and says, like, what's the end game here? Vors admits it's a work in progress, that she's not cracking as fast as he like. And Vors headed off to speak to Septic. Shows him the head, is sort of cryptic about why it went down the way it went down, and Septic is like, well, this isn't what I wanted. And he's like, well, this is what you got, man. And I'm not taking that back. This is yours now. And that was it. Vors and Bob and Dern do their Chotch thing. I win. Was it last session I win Broker Curse?
I think it was 2 sessions.
It was. Yeah, I don't remember. It was. I think it was at the beginning of. Well, whatever. Yeah.
It was the same day. It's still Tuesday.
It's been Tuesday.
It's been Tuesday, but I think it's still only like Tuesday afternoon or evening. I forget. We'll work on that. Keep going. What else do you remember? Come on, Nero. Come on, Nero of House Nero.
Iwan went to Sonara.
Iwan went to Sonara. Okay, well, you can take over. What did Iwan do in Sonara?
Yeah, Iwan went to Sonara and started talking to. Well, looked for Wami. Basically, ignored Levi, I think, right? And had her chauffeur Iwan around to find Wami, which she finally did.
Mm-hmm.
And Iwan asked Wami for contacts that could basically give her information about where the Glorious Reclamation are staying, and kind of like went around to get information about their family and other things like that for her devious plans, and basically is camping out at the tavern for the rest of the day until she does what she's going to do at night.
All right. And something else happened in Agorian. Does anybody remember what happened
ooh.
in Agorian? Oh.
Nero went with Dern to speak to possibly the most handsome man I've ever seen. Dern's handler, who is not only striking but a man of immense taste. Anyway, he talks to Nas Theratrix and says, "Hey, what did they do to him?" And he basically alludes to the fact that something happened to him before he became the Queen's property, and like they found him like this, but they're not quite sure what's wrong with him. But he's very deadly, so he's worth their time. And Nero assures him, like, here's a written account, here's what we know, and we're planning on busting this up shortly. So tomorrow or the day after, we'll have some good results to relay to you.
Yeah, and he was very skeptical of you the whole time, but Nero being Nero and his diplomacy checks being the way they are, and just the fact that you had documentation and you had all these forms, he read through them and he did seem convinced. He still doesn't understand why Dern had to involve all of these other people, but he has identified you as Thrune agents working for the Queen, and based on what you've told him, he is confident that what is supposed to be happening is happening, but he doesn't understand why Dern couldn't just follow the barrister as he was ordered to do.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Dern's got a long scheme.
Oh, he also told me how to handle my slaves.
Was that last session or the session before? I think it was the session before.
That was before.
Hey, you
Oh,
weren't
God.
at this.
You
was
were-
just,
yeah, you
this
didn't
was
come to
just
this
Nero
one.
and Dern at this one. But yeah, the last time you were here, you were like, "Hey, I just bought some slaves. You got any tips?" And he was like,
Wow.
"Yeah, don't give them too big of a sleep. Oh, don't spare the rod," is what he said. This one has been
Yeah.
spared far
Yeah.
too long.
Yeah. I guess we played the last 2 sessions like bang bang. So
It was true. I think it was like a Friday and a Monday last week.
yeah.
That's accurate. Yeah, so that's what we called it. So when you meet Nas Theratrix, that is sundown. So it is now sundown on Tuesday. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, is Demi Baron Cavalderic's rave. So you've got some time between now and then if you want. So you guys had breakfast with the barrister, and the barrister wants to do her work. You did that. Iwin did that. What did Vors do that day? Did you do stuff on Tuesday during the day, Vors? After talking to the barrister?
That's when he went to talk to Sethic.
Okay. Yeah, so you talked to Sethic at that time. Okay. So you talked to Sethic, you delivered the head. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, so let's just say it's sundown on Tuesday. And Nero and Dern finish with Nas Theratrix. And so what do you guys want to do now? Presumably they return to Lawgiver's Rest, unless you would do something on the way back. No? Okay, if not, then you return to Lawgiver's Rest. Bob, you had your real estate deal. Did you do anything else with the evening while they were out doing that, and Iwan was gone in Sonara?
No, probably not. Bob's probably gonna sleep in the warehouse.
You're sleeping in the warehouse you bought,
Yeah.
so you're not going to be at the Lawgiver's Rest?
I don't think Bob's gonna be at the Lawgiver's Rest.
Okay, so you guys arrive back and Bob isn't there. But it's
I'll ask.
Okay.
I ask where's Bob. I ask the front desk guy.
Mr. Aleph?
Yeah, where's Bob?
Lawgiver's Rest. Did you tell Mr. Aleph when you left the building where you were going?
I tell him that I bought a factory.
He looks. Oh, a factory?
A factory. Would you like to celebrate with a bottle of wine?
He asks if you're buying the bottle of wine.
I'll buy a bottle of wine, but not as expensive as it was last time.
Okay, so I think like a gold is like a decent bottle of wine, like an okay bottle.
All right, let's get one.
Okay.
How much? He spent 25 on that
The,
challenge
on the
one?
first one, yes, that's a nice
That's crazy.
vintage.
It's
Like
a
I
snake.
could have had a whole nother slave.
That's a commoner's salary for like decades.
Like, you,
Are Corey and Rhoda around right now?
you
They're
can tell
your
them.
slaves,
You tell
they
them like
follow you.
I drank you in a night.
It's true.
Yeah, that's fine. Get Corey and Rona over here. Let's get them drunk too. Or I need two of these bottles here. Aelith, 2.
Okay, so Mr. Aleph will go. He'll procure 2 bottles of wine for you.
4 glasses.
Okay, he gets 4 glasses, and again, he's very happy to drink with you. He doesn't drink to excess at all. He's working, but he is definitely happy to drink decent wine with you. And what are you telling him about your factory? We don't have to roleplay the whole scene, but what are you telling him about the factory you bought?
It's the Chotch factory that we were talking about over the last
What's a
bottle.
factory?
Well, it's a place where we're gonna make some Chotch.
Oh, so you bought a distillery? You have everything you need to make Chotch?
Wouldn't go that far. We've got the space for the stuff to make the Chotch.
Ah. Well, he raises his glass and he raises it to you and he says, "Sure." And you can tell that he has no idea what's going on, but he's very happy to be drinking decent wine with you.
I'd like to introduce you to Corey and Rona, my new slaves.
Yeah, let me see. I can move you guys over. So you're here, and Dern is not here. So Corey and Rona will be with you. I have to move them on my.
These are the boys.
These are the boys. One's a girl, for what it's worth.
That's all right.
Rona is a girl.
The boys is gender neutral.
Fair enough.
Is that girl a boy too?
Yeah.
What's that? It's not with a Y. It's with an I. It's different.
Oh,
It's like-
okay.
Like Bud Light is a crispy boy, right? So
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you're drinking, and basically, Mr. Aelith, are you drinking at the bar? Whatever. You just let you drink at the bar with him. It's fine. So he seems kind of curious that you have these 2 halflings he's never seen before, and they're not dressed well. They're dressed like you didn't buy them new clothes. They're just like
I gave
slaves.
them a gold each.
They haven't left your side since you
All right.
purchased them. They didn't go shopping in the last day. So they're dressed like slaves just off the market, and he sees you offering them like decent wine. You can tell he's curious as to what this is about, but he doesn't question you about it at all.
Well, Mr. Aelith, this is Corey and this is Rona. They're the boys that are going to be running the Chotch factory with me.
Oh, they'll be running the distillery?
Oh, yes.
Hmm.
We prefer to call it the Chotch factory.
He nods and says, "Of course, of course." Anything else you want to talk about in this conversation? Again, we can just kind of hand wave this and move on to more interesting stuff. But you do establish that you have bought a building in Shellyax,
Yeah, that's it.
and you share 2 bottles of wine with him and your slaves,
Yeah.
and then you tell him you're leaving.
Yeah, I just say, we're gonna go head out.
You're gonna tell him where you're going?
No.
Okay. that's what I wanted from the conversation. All right, so you guys get back after sunset, and it's now dinner time. So again, every night Levasvia has dinner for all of the people staying at her tavern, and she usually sits with somebody she thinks she's going to have an interesting conversation with. And Bob and the slaves are gone, and you have no idea where they are. But Dern and Nero are back, and I guess Vors would be back for dinner, right? Unless you're doing something else.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Then you guys are back for dinner. Iwan is still in Sonara for the whole day, as far as I'm aware. And you guys all meet up, and it's dinner time, and it's very boisterous. And Levasvia is already sitting down next to a group of people. She's sitting at the table with the giant constrictor snake.
So
Wow,
she's sitting with
you know.
Force.
Hey-oh!
Hey.
Yeah, so she's over here talking to a druid and a witch and the giant constrictor snake. And she's laughing loudly, especially as she sees you guys, walking in. As you glance over to her, she laughs loudly and looks in your general direction. And the druid the halfling druid. Is he halfling? No, he's just a regular druid. He appears to be saying something that Lavasia finds hilarious.
I burst over to Mr. Aelith and say, "Where's Bob?"
Master El Zub left several hours ago. He did not tell me where he was going.
Oh, okay.
Well, come on, this guy can't figure out where I was going.
No, he won't. Yeah, he will mention to you. Like he said, he just purchased some property in town. And perhaps he went there. He had 2 halflings with him.
Oh, okay. And I run over to Nero. I tell him immediately, "Bob's gone."
Well, there's not much I can do about it.
Should we get him? Last time he was left alone, bad things happened.
That seems like that's going to be his problem.
Okay. I'm with you.
You're cold.
All right. Anything you guys want to do at the dinner? Are you just getting a table and having some food, or what's anything else you guys want to do?
Nero tries his best to act as normal as possible. Just standard, semi-gregarious, know-it-all weirdo.
All right. Dern or Vors doing anything special at dinner time?
No.
Just ask like how the boy toy's doing.
You're gonna find Lavasvia and ask her. You're gonna walk over to the table and
Oh,
talk to her.
If she makes the rounds, like he wouldn't go out of his way to make a scene. Like he'd just be making pleasantries and seeing. Yeah, just ask her like how she's doing, how her beau is.
She does not really make the round, so she does kind of basically. She's sitting at this table talking to these two people.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a snake there. And she doesn't make the round. So basically, this is kind of the way it's been every night before. She doesn't switch table to table. She sits with some people and she talks with them throughout the entire meal, and then goes back upstairs to her quarters. So are you going to interrupt or interject yourself in that situation?
No, that'd only be if like she like was coming around.
Okay. Yeah, so she doesn't do that. But again, at the end of the night, you do know that she retires. She goes like somewhere this way. If I zoom out, I don't know what you guys can see. She goes like basically over here to like her quarters. So you know at some point during the evening she's going to walk this way past here. So do you want to stop her along the way?
No, he wouldn't stop her. He would just. It's really only if she like was coming by and like says hi or anything.
Okay.
Joe?
Yes, sir.
Her focus is entirely devoted to that table.
Yeah, so again, she's spending all of her time there. She does look at you, and also she looks around the room every once in a while. Everybody can toss me a perception check. Nero, Dern, and Vors. Very good rolls. Very good rolls.
Wow.
Oof.
That's low for Vors. Yeah, you rolled a 3. But even Vors can tell. So again, she is scanning the room, but you get the feeling that she does linger on you longer than normal, both Dern and Nero. But whenever she looks at Vors, she very quickly looks away. Like she looks at you, and then she has this look of just utter disregard as she skips over you. But you can tell that she's not like this dim-witted person that she kind of portrays herself to be, this like dim-witted socialite. You can tell she's got like a very savvy mind, and she's sizing up everybody in the room and looking at everybody in the room almost constantly while she's carrying on this conversation. And the only person she seems like to have disdain for is Vors.
Cool.
So dinner wraps up, and again she's talking with this druid, and she's laughing at this druid as if he's saying like the most hilarious things you've ever heard. And she finishes dinner and she begins to leave. So she, as things are being cleaned up and everybody else is dispersing, she begins walking over to her, her quarters. And anybody gonna stop her or do anything? Nope. Okay. Then she goes away, and you guys are free to do whatever you want. So the room kind of begins to quickly clear out. Some people stick at the bar, but other people go out to do whatever they're going to do at night, because there's better bars to hang out at in Nagorian if you want to. But some people stay here and drink. Some people leave. What do you guys want to do for the night?
Go to the. I don't know.
Are you going to see her?
I was thinking about going to. Actually, where are we going to go talk to Siggy?
I don't know exactly where you left off with that. You said your friend was going to buy a building and needed help, but I don't know if there was a date set for anything for that or time.
I just said like we'd come back to chat with him once we had stuff for him to move.
Yeah. It's after sundown, so you could go where you know he was. I'm not sure if he'd still be there after sundown, but he told you where he works, and he said that he lives in that building. So
Mhm.
Siggy is on the map here. So you could go there and try to find him if you like. But again, it is after sundown, so it's up to you.
I'm having a hard time thinking of other things for us to do other than like stake out Mazel. Which you can
Yeah, I
do.
mean, getting information out of her wouldn't be a waste of your time. I think.
Yeah. Actually, is Iwan around? Where is she?
Sonara.
Oh yeah, we can't do this thing without her.
You can do anything you want without her. That's up to you.
Well, wait, I can't remember. Jeff, does Iwan need to be there when they die, or do they just need to die?
She just needs to know that they're dead.
Dude, let's go kill it.
Do you guys want to pick a fight?
Yeah, let's go kill Siggy. Come on. I've been waiting to kill that guy.
I don't even know about
Like,
this guy.
Shirag has been waiting. Dern has no idea, but Shirag has been waiting. So if Boris wants to go, I'm down, totally down.
All right, we'll keep that.
Time to go to the warehouse.
Boris
And we'll-
would like go and like try to creep on Mazel Duluth and
Bring him to the
without
Chocolate
being
factory.
without being seen, because he doesn't want to like creep her out or spook her.
Just bring him
By
all
the way,
down to
I
the Chocolate factory.
I do love the fact that Vors is basically doing everybody else's jobs for them, following the barrister, potentially killing this guy. Vors is a one-man party.
And advancing Nero's like legal battles.
It's true.
Yeah.
All of that's true.
And he's blind, by the way, which is
And
crazy
he's blind the whole time.
Yeah, like a blind guy is dusting everyone.
All right, so you guys wrap up dinner, and it's after sundown, so it's dusk. It's not like pitch black yet. Let's say it's like 7 p.m. Sun is setting or has set, but not pitch black. And you're all going out. Is Vors going alone, or are you bringing people with you?
Boris doesn't trust anybody in the party besides Nero, and he figures Nero won't want to have anything to do with it, so he'll probably go by himself.
Okay. And what's your plan? So you're basically, are you looking for the barrister? Are you looking for Siggy? What are you looking for?
Oh no, yeah, no, just creeping on the barrister a bit.
Okay. So Vors is going to head down to where's Whipcrack? It's supposed to be down here, I think. Hey, Whipcrack, yeah. So you head down to Whipcrack, and you're basically looking for the barrister. So go ahead and toss me 2 perception checks as you walk around the Whipcrack Market trying to find the barrister. And you do find her with the first one. So you go to Whipcrack and you're walking around again. So it's like an open air slave market. There's lots of different like stages and things like that where people have slaves. And at this time at night, it's basically all but closed down. So there are a couple people still selling slaves, but pretty much everything's done until the sun comes back up. But you walk around and she is there, and you see her talking to Siggy.
Ooh, cool.
And make a stealth check to see if you remain stealthy.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. So you believe you are hidden. So basically, neither her or Siggy has made any gesture in your direction. And you watch them talk, and they talk for several minutes.
I study both of them.
Okay. Does that
Yeah.
require a certain distance, or can you do that from as far away as you want?
I don't think there's a distance on it. I can
Okay.
just like hold it on up to 3 people with like
Alright.
bonuses.
Okay. So you study them, and what is your intention?
Uh, basically, like if like either one of them notices him, then he would like just walk up to Siggy and say, "Hey, what's up?" And make it look like he was just coming down to talk to him about the jobs that he has. Now that our boys have a Chach distillery.
Neither of them act as if they've noticed you at all. So you still want to approach and start that line of questioning?
No.
Okay. So they talk for a few minutes, and they seem to know each other well. Like based on, give me a sense motive check. I'm pretty sure you'll pass, but go ahead and make a sense motive check anyway. With your study bonus of +3, yeah?
Yeah.
Or is it even higher now?
Sorry, I don't have pictures for my buttons.
It's fine, you're blind. Yeah. Even with a 19, you can tell that they seem to appear as though they've known each other for a while, like with their hand gestures and the way that they're talking. They're not like two strangers conversing. It's not like they're conducting official business as strangers. You believe that these people have talked before. They seem rather friendly with each other. And they talk for a bit. They have a nice, polite conversation. And eventually, Maisel nods and begins to walk away.
What does he do?
Siggy watches her walk away for a few seconds and then turns around and begins walking back to the building that you know he lives at.
All right. Boris gonna have his hood up and yeah, follow her.
Okay. All right. So you're following her, and how closely are you following her?
Close enough that he doesn't lose her.
Okay. All right.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like it would depend on like the terrain, I guess.
Yeah, so it's a city. It's not a crowded street because again, it's basically it's nighttime. Things are ending, so that makes it both easier to follow her and harder to hide because you can't just hide in the crowd. So basically, how far behind her would you want to stay? Are you using buildings? Like how is Vors pursuing her?
Stealthily.
Stealthily. Good answer. Good answer. Very stealthily. Okay, so yeah, Vors would probably want to leave enough distance between them that she wouldn't see you or wouldn't think that you're following her. Okay.
I mean, Vors would also take advantage of like darker alleys and stuff where he can not see better than somebody who's just trying to see.
Okay. She's primarily taking main roads. She's not going through dark alleys. So if you pop into an alley, you might be like, you risk losing her if you're trying to like cut through alleys to cut her off. What's your main?
Oh,
strategy?
not necessarily cut through them, just like ducking him out of them.
Okay.
So.
All right. Ooh, turn posted.
I guess Vors would have to stay within 60 feet of her because that's the limit of his blind sight.
Oh, valid point. Okay. So yeah, so close. All right, so close, but trying your best to use alleys. All right, so within 60 feet, if you're gonna stay there. So yeah, so perception will be easy. What's your perception bonus passively?
19.
Yeah. Okay. So you can't fail. You can't fail if you're within 60 feet of her. You cannot fail to lose her, or you cannot. You know what I mean? You can't fail to not find her. So basically, it comes down to stealth check. So go ahead and make a stealth check to see.
Chris, remember that you also have a telepathic owl.
Fuck, I do. I break my owl out for the first time in this entire.
He could have read so many things.
You have a what is it? Fig.
I don't even know.
You don't even know what it is. What is it? A serpentine owl figurine of wondrous power? Yes. This figurine either becomes a normal-sized horned owl or a giant owl, according to the command word you use. The owl communicates with its owner by telepathic means, informing her of all it sees and hears. You can do it once per day for 8 hours. and after 3 times, it's worthless. So this is the first time you've used it.
Whoa! After 3 times of the giant owl form.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm using fucking baby owl.
you're using baby owl. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, good call. All right, so you're using baby owl form, and you're having it follow the barrister, and so you're staying further away now.
Yeah, because I can.
All right, smart, very smart. Okay, so let's say with the owl, you can't lose her, so that the perception checks are still not a problem. And you still need to make stealth checks, but you can be further away now. So go ahead and toss me a stealth check for the first bit, and I'll put her on the map too. Where do I have the barrister still?
Ow. Oh.
That's really good.
+3 for studying.
Yeah, +3 for studying. Okay. So,
Wait, do I get the bonus on stealth checks too?
I think so.
Unless the velvet blade is different.
I
But
think it
Slayer's
is.
No, I don't think I do. I think I traded that in.
Velvet Blade, Bluff, Diplomacy, Disguise, Intimidate, Knowledge, Perception, Sense Motive, Stealth, and Survival.
Alright, I'm on.
Alright, so you watch as she walks north, and you follow her, and again you're following her like at a safe distance. And she gets up to here, and then she moves this way, and you can be following her, and toss me another stealth check. Yep. Yep. Alright. So she continues and she goes up, and she goes back this way, and she goes up to here. And toss me another stealth check. This is good music. Thank you, Shirag. It's intense.
Oof, miserable. I have a +21 modifier. You know that, right?
I did not know that, but I know that now.
And with the so like the lowest I can roll is a 25.
Okay, so she can possibly see you, but she rolled a 6 that time, so she failed to see you. It's possible for her to see you though. If you roll poorly and she rolls well, she might see you, but she has failed to see you so far. Not like Dern. Dern she saw like all the time. Yeah, so you watch as she goes and she continues on her path. She goes like this. She goes up to here. She goes up to here. She goes here and then here. And make one more stealth check for me.
It's hard when you keep moving my character.
Apologies. That's very good. You're very good. Okay.
That's very much average.
Well, you're naturally very good at this, or you've trained to be very good at this. So you watch as she walks into a fairly modest Vanio in the Bilgetown district. So over here, she walks into. I'll put a little text note on the thing. Right, modest Vanio. So she basically walks up to the gate of a modest Vanio. It's like a big steel gate outside of like a walled-in garden, and she opens it with a key and walks in and closes it behind her. And so Bilgetown is not a very nice part of town. It's kind of a lower class district, and it's right near the docks. But this is like a modest Vanio, so it's like an Italian villa basically. So it's not as nice as the ones you've seen on the other side of town, the fancy parties you've attended, but it is like an upper class house in a low district.
All right, so Forz would have his telepathic owl, tell him to go find some mice and play it cool and casual.
Okay. All right. So, are you having him go into the Vanio and look for mice, or what are you trying to do exactly?
We said it's like a villa, so that.
Yeah.
That there's open areas somewhere.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So go find mice in the courtyards or wherever, and follow her.
Okay. So she walks through a garden, and the owl is telepathically communicating to you. So there's a big stone courtyard, and there is a garden inside of it. There are 2 bird feeders that he's kind of interested in, but he ignores them.
Why would he? Wait, I mean, unless there's birds there for him to eat, he's not going to be interested.
There are small birds. There are small birds here, but there's no mice. You're right. So there's bird feeders and bird baths in the primary garden that he does not look at. And she walks through that into another open form where there is a very well-tended garden. The owl can't communicate what the garden is, but it seems much more different. It's not like an open, kind of sprawling garden. He tells you there's rectangles. He doesn't understand it, but there's rows of things in this garden. It's not like just like a greenery. He doesn't understand what's going on, but he watches as she moves through this area and moves into a building. She goes inside.
Owls can hear stuff. Can the owl hear stuff?
I guess. Does the owl understand language? I guess it would if it's telepathically communicating with you somehow. Yeah, the barrister doesn't say anything as she's walking through this place, and she hasn't talked to anybody the entire time.
I guess I was be wondering if there's like other voices coming from inside the building. Like, is she meeting somebody there? Or is like this just where she lives?
Vors does not believe this is where she lived. At least where she told you she lived is if I go back to my gray map and I zoom out a bit.
Yeah, she could have been lying though.
Yeah, I think she said she lived somewhere in Aspect's Garden. So she claimed to live somewhere over here, which is like a middle class part of town. She could have been lying. But this is a Vanio. Why don't you make a knowledge check, Mr. Vors?
Do that. It's good at knowledge local.
Yeah, it's knowledge local and knowledge nobility. You do not know whose Vanio this is.
That's disappointing.
I agree.
Okay. How long is the last? How long is the owl? Was
I think it's 8 hours, it said, right?
Yeah.
Boris is a very patient person.
Alright. So you're going to hang out outside this place for 8 hours.
Maybe.
Yeah? Okay. So an hour passes, and she's still inside. How patient are you?
Like very. Like he would find like someplace like relatively comfy and ideally to.
Okay. And your owl's just like basically hunting rats in the courtyard of this place?
Probably mice.
Mice. Sure. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's a small owl, not a big one.
Okay. So he keeps doing his rounds.
And squirrels. Like the owl fucking hates squirrels.
Hates squirrels. That's canon now. This owl hates squirrels. So after the second hour, he reports that someone else, a man, has come into the central garden and is tending to it. He's walking to the big. He explains that the rows of plants. He's looking at them.
Okay. He's looking at them or tending to them?
Tending to them. He's touching them too, but he's walking down. He's looking at all of them and kind of touching them, watering some and things like that. Again, it's after sundown, and he's tending to these plants.
I'm happy to hear that they are watering after sundown because that is the more efficient time.
Yeah,
To plants.
it's like the guy that owns this Vanio knows how to tend to his plants. Yeah.
All right, so Boris keeps waiting.
Okay. So that guy does that for a little bit, and then he disappears back inside. And another hour passes. That's 2 hours, and a third hour passes. And then the woman comes back out of the building after 3 hours. And the owl lets you know about this, but shortly after the owl lets you know that she's leaving, you see her exiting the front gate. And again, she has a key, and she unlocks the front gate, and then locks it again behind her when she leaves. And basically you see her, and the owl's report is holding to you, and you see her begin leaving the Vanio. And she's heading south on this road.
Alright, so Boris would keep following her.
Alright. Toss me 3 stealth checks. I'm gonna have her walk really quickly, because I'm pretty sure your stealth checks are something she's not gonna. Toss me 3 in a row. Oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez, okay. Alright, so you get to just about here when she notices you. 27 was not good enough.
I'm like really far away though, because I got the owl now. I'm not within 60 feet.
How far away exactly?
How, like, what's the range of the owl?
Oh, I don't think it has a range. I don't know. It doesn't specifically say.
Then I would be really, like, I would not be anywhere, like, I would not be within, like, line of sight of her.
Fair enough. Okay, so you're hiding around the corner. Let me make some rolls for your owl. She rolled a very good perception check on her last one. Her second last one was not bad. So, what does an owl have for stealth checks? And also, why would she be suspicious about an owl? That's a great question. They have a plus 15 for stealth. So, she beat it twice. So, she definitely saw an owl twice. Does she care? Here we go, Sense Motive.
Why would they care?
Well, if you see the same owl twice, it's a little suspicious. She does not care, no. So she's pretty sure she's seen the same owl twice, but she doesn't think twice about it.
How do you think you see the same owl twice? You look up, you say, "Oh, an owl." You see another owl, and you go, "Oh."
That's a great question, but you roll well enough, and you're like, I'm pretty sure that has the same colorations as the last owl I saw, so that's weird. Because again, she's walking throughout the town, like she's walking for like 10 minutes, and it's the same owl, and it's flying around, and like, she's a little suspicious, but turns out she wasn't actually suspicious.
It's just a town owl.
When was the
town
last
owl?
time you saw 2 owls in one night, ever, in your lifetime?
I don't know, maybe there was a lot of owls in Agora, and I haven't read up on the flora and fauna of the city. Yeah, so the owl lets you know that she's looked at it. Like, she's looked at me twice now. But again, you don't get the impression. The owl doesn't get the impression that anything is amiss. And you, staying out of eyeshot, watch through the owl's telepathy as she does go into a place here in Aspect's Garden. She does go to an apartment here.
Right.
Alright, so she disappears into there. What are you doing?
Probably head back to the Lawgiver's Rest. After giving Al a nice little owl treat for doing a good job.
Okay. Alright. The owl accepts your treat. Do you have, like, a mouse, or are you giving it, like, meat, or what? What do you got?
Yeah, meat. Give him meat.
Give him some meat. Alright. The owl graciously accepts it. And you have it for, like, 5 more hours. Are you dismissing it, or are you just letting it hang out for a while?
No, I was gonna hang out for a while.
Alright, cool. Alright.
Actually, can I just, like, have the owl? Is there a limit on telepathy? Like, a range of telepathy?
It doesn't say.
Like, just generally, like, telepathy. Like, not just the owl.
I think, like, devils in general get, like, 100 feet. Like, I don't know. Let me see.
I'm just trying to make it so, like, this isn't too fucking OP. So I'm trying to put limits on it.
Yeah, like, so devils get 100 feet. So let's just say that the bird also has 100 feet. So, but again, like, it can see ahead of it. So it's, like, behind the barrister, so you're 100 feet behind the owl, roughly. So you can still be out of eyeshot. You can also be in alleyways while the owl's looking.
Yep.
Yeah. But yes, let's just say 100 feet from the owl.
Is there a bar nearby?
Is there a bar nearby? Yeah, there's lots of bars here.
Alright, so Vors would have the owl, like, stake out her place, and while he goes and hangs out in a bar.
Okay. Alright, so you go to the bar, and you have a couple drinks. And after a couple hours, you hear nothing from the owl. Like, well, I guess it would report in. I don't know how militarized this owl is. But basically, you get no usable information. So the barrister went into this building, and she hasn't left, as far as the owl can tell.
Alright. So that's probably where she lives. Can they see, like, in a window?
If you want, you can try to peek in the window, sure.
Like, after a little while, like, are there any, like, lights on in the window? Or does she appear to be asleep?
There are lights on in the window when you walk out of the bar after a couple hours. So it's now, like, let's say, like, 10 p.m., and there is a light on in the window. You see candlelight in the window.
Oh, Vors would go back into the bar then.
Okay. So you waited some more time until you assume she's asleep. It's now like midnight, going on 1, like it's like 12:30, and you go back out. You check every once in a while, and the lights are out now.
Vors would see if the owl can, like, look in the window.
You still do have the owl, and you're sending the owl up to the window to just go perch on it and look inside.
Like do like a flyby. I'll keep his fucking beak shut.
Yeah, I guess you can just do that. You just order this owl around with telepathy. Yeah. It's like I don't see anything in here like, oh, you like normally with an animal you have to like use handle animal checks and stuff. It's just like no, you communicate telepathically with a bird. So you tell it to do a flyby, and it does. And it has good vision at night. So let me see as it fly by the window.
It's probably almost as good as Vors's.
So yeah, the owl flies by and tells you that it is a small room with a desk and what does a bird do with a desk? Well, anyway, with a desk and a bed, and the woman is sleeping inside.
Okay, that's all he needs to know.
Okay. You doing anything else?
Heading back to the Lawgiver's Rest.
All right. Heading back to Lawgiver's Rest. Bob, what were you doing at that building? No one came to get you, apparently.
We were really just cleaning it up, getting it ready to bring in some machinery.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You had it all cleaned up. You're making some space for the tanks.
Well, I assume that we have to roll some skill checks to see how good the slaves are at cleaning, yes?
I mean, I guess. Yeah. Why don't you just roll 2 d20s publicly?
Yeah. They're not very good
That
at
was
cleaning
Corey,
up.
that was Rona. Yeah, so Corey's not too good. Like 10's a passable job. 10 is like an average job. So he's doing what you tell him to do, and he's doing an adequate job, but not super great. Like you
Does
tell
he look like he's trying?
he is trying. He is trying, and he's doing an average job. You can tell that he's like not a trained like maid or housekeeper. He's not like a servant kind of thing. But whenever you ask him to move heavy things, like he's a laborer. He's very visibly a laborer, and he does anything you ask him to. But whenever you ask him to do like hard labor, he excels at that more than the other things. And Corey does an above average job. And you begin to assign her more and more of the cleaning tasks. But again, you hired Rona as like she's supposedly a smarter admin. You paid extra money. You paid double, I think, for her because she can manage books and stuff like that. And you're assigning her to like go sweep and stuff like.
Well, we're just getting the business ready. You know, we're getting this started together.
To get everybody's got to put in some sweat equity.
Everyone's got to put in some sweat. Bob's cleaning too.
You're
He's
cleaning.
clanking around with a broom.
Roll d20 for yourself there, Bob. See how well you clean. Yeah, you do okay. So you clean the space, and again, it's definitely enough space for what you need to do. Bob, I don't think knows anything about making tchotch.
Yeah. So while we're doing this, I'm asking them. So I understand you guys know about distilling alcohol.
they both shake their heads, and they've told you this before. It's like, no, we have no idea what you're talking about.
Alright, we're gonna have to talk to Nero then.
And they both look at each other, and you can tell that they're both confused and a little scared, because they don't know what's going to happen. But you do get the impression they have no idea how to distill alcohol.
Well, we're gonna figure it out and teach him.
Okay. So you spend a bunch of the evening cleaning this place up and getting it ready. You still don't have the stuff, the materials, so you'll have to go buy it. We can do that on Discord or whatever. But you will have to pay money to buy tanks and whatnot.
Alright.
And then wait a year or more as it distills. But hey, whatever.
Whatever, we can fast travel in time, right?
Yeah, you want to just jump ahead a year, see what happens?
We'll be in the same part of the story anyway a year from now, so who cares?
A year from now, after the Tiefling Rebellion, and you guys are marching on some other city we haven't even heard of yet.
Okay, semi-serious question. What happens if you bring the alcohol, or bring it to the astral plane, and then just go pick it back up? Like, does the year pass in an instant?
No, because it doesn't. When you go to the astral plane, you don't age. I think you're in a stasis. Right?
Can we
But as soon as you come back, all the time that passed, like it also passes. So
that's true. So if you somehow teleported with the tank of Chach to the astral plane and stayed in the astral plane for 15 years, when you snap back, would it all have ate? Presumably. Something to investigate. But you can't actually you can't actually plane shift, right? It's a projection, right? Or
Wait,
how does that work?
But what happens if we put the entire distillery inside of a bag of holding?
Well, I don't think it would all fit. Is my first point. But what are you getting at?
I'm saying we could probably store, if we have to go to another city, we could probably store this like in Dern.
No, I don't think you can store an entire distillery in Dern. I don't believe it at all.
I'd like to roll for it.
I'm a pretty easygoing
but...
GM, but I don't think you can do all that. No.
Okay, all right. Well, it's worth a try.
Okay, so you spend a bunch of hours cleaning up the distillery and getting to know your halflings and understanding the fact that they have no idea how to brew Chach.
I'd also tell them that they need to buy better clothes. I gave you guys enough money to buy some clothes. What's going on here?
Again, they have not left your side since you purchased them.
I know.
They are your property, and so they look at you and said you'd like us to go to buy clothes. Where would we go?
Tomorrow we'll walk around. We'll try to find a place to get you guys some nice clothes.
Toss me a sense motive check.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Where the frig is my token? There it is.
I think you're on the far left somewhere, probably.
Yeah. There we go. Gotta go skills.
Yeah, so you get the impression that they don't even understand what you've asked them to do. Like, they seem so hapless, they don't understand the command, go buy clothes. That's not a thing they've ever had to do.
Tomorrow, the gold that I gave each of you, we're going to get you attire. I don't know. What do they know what clothes are? Do they know what attire is?
Yeah, they're wearing clothes, and they know what clothes are. But it's like they've never gone to a store and picked out a shirt. That's not a thing they've ever done.
We're gonna go on a shopping trip tomorrow.
And again, you get the impression that they're confused, but they nod. And Corey, the bolder of the two, asks you. So he takes his coin out of his pocket. Says, "So this is really mine?"
Yes.
And he looks at Rona, and Rona just shakes her head, but he continues like, "This isn't a trick. This is real."
I've done nothing to make you think I'm tricking you. I haven't. I actually haven't. I don't need to roll anything. That's the truth.
And again, they exchange glances, and you can tell that Rona is very skeptical and very cautious, and Corey seems more and more bolder as he talks to you. And he says, "So I could walk out right now," and he points across the street. I could go there right now without you.
Well, what are you gonna do there? Sure, if you come back, why not?
He says, I don't know, but and he looks at Rona and then begins walking towards the door, but I would like to.
All right.
He's going to walk out the door.
Is he gonna come? Are you coming back?
He nods and says, "Is this home?" And he gestures to the empty warehouse.
Not yet. Lawgiver's Rest is home right now, but yes, we will make this a home.
That's the tavern, the inn you were staying at?
Yes.
Okay. And again, he seems again confused, but very interested in doing this. And you look at Rona, and even with your 13 sense motive check, you can tell that she's like basically staring at him like, don't fuck this up, don't do something stupid. But Corey is going out on the town with a gold in his pocket.
If he doesn't have the gold tomorrow when we go shopping, I'm gonna kick his ass. But I'm not telling him that.
Okay. Because I mean, a beer is a copper, and you've handed him 100 beers, basically.
I'm not paying for his medical bills if he.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. Like
if he needs new liver, that's on him.
You handed a slave 100 beers. Okay.
Well, is he going drinking? Because I want to go if he's going.
Well, he just wants to go out. He wants to go. Specifically, he asked if he can go out without you, if that was allowed.
Oh, yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, no, he wants
so
to do his thing.
he's
Okay.
going out. And Rona thinks this is a horrible mistake.
Okay.
But Corey leaves the room. And Rona stays. And you guys, you're done cleaning, so you're going back to Lawgiver's Rest, and you're taking Rona with you?
Yeah, if she wants to come, yeah, why not?
Yes, she follows you dutifully. And Corey is out on the town.
So while we're walking back, Bob just explains like what shopping is, like what we're doing tomorrow.
Okay, so you explain it, and she's not simple, so she understands the idea that people buy clothes, and this is a thing that happens, and she presumes there are other halflings that go out and buy clothes for their masters and whatnot. But she says, so like, I can buy anything I want, I can wear anything I want.
We're just going to try to look a little bit more noble. Yes.
And she seems confused. You want us to look noble?
Everybody should look noble. We're the boys.
Why?
I don't know. It'd be nice if we looked better in public. We're trying to run a business. We're trying to start a business.
And again, you can tell that she's just confused. But why? Why does it matter what I look like?
I mean, functionally it doesn't. It's just tradition.
Tradition? And she looks at you, and again, you're in Hell Knight armor. And she looks at you. What tradition?
Society? I don't know. Michael doesn't know how to answer the
Okay, so she seems very curious and very confused. But you can tell whenever she asks questions, like she's very cautious and she doesn't ask questions she doesn't think she's supposed to be asking. But she doesn't understand like what you're getting at, like what game you're playing. But she nods along and she seems to understand what you're talking about. So tomorrow you'll go shopping with her.
Yeah.
And presumably Corey will be back. We'll see what happens with Corey.
I hope he gets eaten by a snake.
Sorry?
I said I hope he gets eaten by a snake.
Oh, okay. Oh, also of import is you have papers for these halflings now. Did you give them their papers?
No, God, no. What are you, stupid?
So if Corey is caught by a slave catcher, what happens right now?
Well, I own the paper, right?
You have a paper saying you own Corey. That's true.
Well, okay, my answer to this question depends on what a slave catcher actually does.
Well, if they see a halfling they believe has escaped, they would take it and then they would turn it in. And presumably, if there's a record in the capital of you owning the slave, you'd get it back. But there may be some delay in that. It's not a instantaneous.
Can I give him a copy of it?
Presumably, if you had somebody who could scribe a copy for you, yes.
Do we think that I would have had that retro, like in the past?
I mean, you bought them yesterday. So yeah, we'll say that you could have asked Nero or somebody to make a copy of it. I mean, you could write it yourself, I guess, if you think you can understand legalese of the contract.
Bob basically writes a note that says, like, if found, call Bob.
Call Bob at Lawgiver's Rest.
Yes. Bob will be drunk at Lawgiver's Rest if found.
Okay, so you don't give him his actual papers, but you attach a note to your halfling.
He's got a permission slip.
He's got a permission slip and a contact if found field.
Yes.
All right, cool.
My slip had a permission slip, yes.
Oh, double dip on the slip. There you go. All right, so you head back to Lawgiver's Rest, and Corey's out of the town for a while. All that happens. Jumping back to Iwin. So in Sonara, you're basically stationed at the marked Goat Tavern, right? That's where I was sending you. So dump you here, and I'll turn off his stealth music because we haven't been stealthing for like an hour now, so that's great. And I have I have some tavern music somewhere. I think the tavern music I usually use is gone. Is Dern typing tavern music? Come on, Dern. Help us out, Dern. Alright, so you're at the Marco Tavern while Dern's looking for tavern music. Look at this guy. General adventuring? No, find me tavern music, Dern. Get on it. Alright, so you're at the Marco's Tavern, and again, so Wami has set you up here, and he said that he's going to send some of the, like, the information dealers, some of the spies, to come talk to you. And you've generally stated, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or if it's changed, that you're interested in hearing about the Glorious Reclamation, the individuals in the patrols and things like that, and specifically like their family life and if they have children. Is that accurate?
And where they live. Yes.
And where they live. Okay. So you talked to several people. You talked to, let's say, 4 different tieflings come through, and they tell you that they were sent there by Wami to talk to you. And when you ask those sort of questions, you get the impression that that's not really the sort of data they've been collecting. Like, they weren't going around looking at this. But you've explained to, I think, one of them, or maybe to Wami himself last session, that, you know, wars are won in different ways, soldiers are broken in different ways. And they genuinely seem interested in that. So you get some of the information, but it's not something they were going out of their way to collect. But you do hear about several of the soldiers and their families and where they live, including one high-ranking captain of the guard. He has a family, he has a wife and 2 daughters, and he tells you where they live in Sonara, somewhere in the High District. Is there any other specific information you'd like, or is that enough?
So I would say she's looking for quantity over quality. Like having more names, knowing more possibilities, building a long list, like basically anything that anybody knows about where people live and what the makeup of their family looks like is going to be good for her.
Okay. So again, you talk to a couple of people, and you don't get the sort of quantity you're hoping for. You do get a couple of names and stuff like that, but primarily all the people you talk to seem to be interested in, like, where are the patrols, how many people are in the patrols, things like that. Like, basically they're doing like a military analysis, and you ask these questions, and they don't have most of the data. But they assure you that Wami told them this is important, and they're talking to you. They're spending time talking to you. So they say that if this is important to Wami, and if this is important to you, we can look into that. And in the next couple of days, they can get back to you. But they don't have the sort of numbers that you're hoping for.
So Iwan would say, like, yes, please go and do that. This will have to do for today. And I think based on what you told me that it probably will. So she thanks them, and she basically takes the information. So basically, like, is it accurate that the only extended family information that she gets is about that one, or are there others where
you get a couple of other Glorious Reclamation soldiers, but the only one of note, like, again, he was a captain in the guard, so he's a higher level person. But you do hear about a couple other families. You hear about, let's say,
well, here, let me be more specific. So does she find out about more of the children, and what's the youngest one she finds out about?
Okay, I can roll dice. The captain has a 4-year-old girl. The youngest, he has a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, both girls. And you hear about the youngest one. You hear one of the common soldiers has a 1-year-old son.
Okay. So that's good.
Okay. I'm gonna save those numbers for later.
Yeah.
It's gonna be important.
and yeah, I mean, and in the off time, it might be good to, like, that's what she's going to be looking to find out. She won't be that explicit, but you might want to roll a bunch because a big list will be good for her.
Okay.
I mean, well, we'll see based on how this goes today if a big list is going to be important or not. But
okay.
Um,
Captain has a 4 and 7, and then soldiers and 1-year-old. Okay, so I'll say that. So there is one 1-year-old. You also know about a 3-year-old, and like I said, the captain has a 4 and a 7-year-old, and you also hear about a 6-year-old and another 6-year-old.
Okay.
Okay, and that's what they tell you that like that's not something they were really looking into, but it's just stuff they kind of stumbled into in their investigations. But they'll make it a priority to kind of look into this and follow these soldiers home if that's of interest to you and Tawami.
Yeah, and she'll just kind of double down on like, yes, this is of interest to me. Thank you so much for doing it. I'll be back to collect that information, but like, get it for yourselves too. You never know when you're going to need to go this route yourselves.
Okay, and toss a diplomacy check just to kind of see how the conversations go in general.
Sure.
You're on this map. You're outside.
Oh, here we go. I gotcha. Yep, I got it.
Yeah. You have a very good diplomacy check these days, huh?
I do have a very yep.
Look at that. All right. Yeah. So again, you've totally convinced them. Like again, this isn't something they were looking into, but again, the way you've talked about it and the interest you've shown, you made them believe like this is definitely something to look into. This is a knob that can be twisted, and they are very much going to work towards this end for you and for Wami. And you're there the whole night, right? You can't teleport out until tomorrow, or is that not true?
I think she could, but she's going to be there. I mean, the thing that she's going to do is going to be in the dead of night. So yeah,
Okay.
Let me see what my deal is.
What my deal
Yeah.
is?
So I only used one level 5 so far, so she
Okay.
can get back out.
Okay. Yeah, so you spend most of the afternoon and some of the evening doing that because it's whenever the spies can come back in. So like they're out, in Sonara doing their things, and they come in throughout the night. So let's just say it's the begin. Let's say it's like 10 p.m. when you hear from the last one that you believe is coming in tonight.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, so she'll basically like compile the notes, kind of put it all in one list. Make sure to look at it, make sure it's actually quite visible. So like the scryer will see the information that she like, generally the type of information that she has. And then she'll wait around until like midnight or a little bit after to do what she does.
To do what she does, okay.
Do what she does.
All right. So a couple hours. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, does anything happen in that time? I guess.
That is a good question. And no, nothing happens in that time.
Okay. So then around what I guess let's just say 12:30 or whatever, she throws on her hat of disguise.
Took that back from Durin at some point.
Presumably he brought it back to her.
All right.
Yes. Very quickly I did.
So she throws that on and not trying to look like just not herself, like I don't know, some sort of like gnome maid, basically.
Okay.
Not pink hair, etc. And then turns herself invisible, and the house with the 1-year-old, wherever the party's been to the High District before, yeah.
Yeah, many times.
Okay, so wherever she feels like would be close enough to it, that's also got like some cover, she would teleport to with. I think Dimension Door works with this kind of distance, yeah.
Dimension Door is like 400.
I think it's like 400, yeah, something like that, yeah.
I think the scale is accurate on the map. So it's thousands of feet to the High District.
Okay, so then I'll burn it.
But again, so as far as you're aware, I can't remember who it was. I remember it was Vors. I think maybe. Oh, they specifically didn't bring you, so you don't know that. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Okay.
You weren't at the Fabrio escapades.
Yes, that's correct. I was not. I was happily sleeping.
Fucking Fabrio.
Fucking Fabrio escapades. Apologies. All right.
So yeah. So
840 feet
All right.
is Dimension Door for you right now.
don't know why that just happened, but I should have two.
Oh,
Whatever.
so this token is different than that other token. That's annoying. So let me copy the one.
Ah,
Yeah, the
got
tokens
it.
aren't global, so I'll copy this one from the Mark Goats Tavern. Copy it. I'll go to Agorian, or sorry, Sonara, and I will paste it here. And I'll delete Iwin and rename Iwin 1 to Iwin. All right, that should be the actual token. Yeah, because they're specific to
Okay.
a map, basically.
got it. So let me burn that. So yeah, so she'll teleport invisible and disguised to wherever is very close to that house, but maybe like behind a bush or behind a separate building or something like that. Just like not out in the open, like right in front of it, basically.
So you're over here, and there's some shrubbery. The house is right in front of you. There's some shrubbery, and you're fairly close to the wall to be behind the shrubs, but you do teleport there.
Okay. Is the house all one level? Thanks.
No problem. Is the house all one level? Yes, this one is.
All right, that's good. That's convenient. So she'll walk up to the house and put her gloved hands on it and start peering in to figure out where the presumably nursery is.
Okay, so you put your gloved hand around, and you begin searching the house, and you find there's a fairly large, like living room area with a fireplace inside. The fire is still going, but you don't see anybody inside, and you just see through the wall with those gloves, right? The gloves of reconnaissance.
As long as the wall's not more than 5 feet thick, but I assume it's not. So
It's
yes,
not.
she just sees it like it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you walk into the you don't walk in. You see the room. It's empty. The fire is still on. It's beginning to smolder. It's not a roaring fire, but it is still active. But you don't see anybody in the room. You continue walking around the house, and you see there are actually several bedrooms, and it looks like there are different couples in each of the bedrooms. So you go to one, and you see that there's 2 people in the bed. You go to another, and there's 1 person in a bed. And you go to the third, and you see 2 people in a bed, and there is a crib or a what's the word I'm looking for? The smaller version of the crib. Come on, my brain is
Bassinet?
bassinet. There's a bassinet. Thank you. There's a bassinet in the room.
This dude dies.
Okay.
This guy dads. Yeah.
So how large is the room, and how far away is the bassinet from the couple? And is the couple asleep?
The couple is asleep. The room is roughly 10 by 10, and the bassinet is fairly close to the bed. It's only a couple feet away from the bed.
Okay. Interesting. How close is the house with the next youngest child?
What?
How? I don't know. I don't know if Iwan would. I don't know if Iwan would go in that situation. It might be too triggering.
Okay.
This is supposed to be cleaner than this. So you said there's a 3-year-old.
Yeah, there is I believe I said there was a 3-year-old. Let me see in my notes. There was a 1-year-old. There's a 3-year-old. Yes, correct.
That's the next one. All right. And so okay, presumably that's going to be within hundreds of feet.
Yes.
Yes, that house.
Agreed. Yes.
Okay. So let's go there and do the same thing, and I'll burn a level 4 to do that.
Okay, so you dimension door to another house in the dead of night,
Yes.
and you're looking for. You're gonna do the same thing. So you're gonna put your glove of reconnaissance hand on the walls, looking to see if there is a separate nursery.
Well, and presumably for a 3-year-old, it would be just
Yes.
a separate room or something. Yes.
Correct.
Ideally, yes.
Yes, correct. That's true. 3 is old enough. All right. So yeah, so you do the same sort of thing, and again, I think Gloves of Reconnaissance lasts a minute.
It's a minute, and then I've got the greater version, so I
Yeah, we
get
made
3 charges.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so even with a minute, so like you're kind of just you put your hand on it and you kind of casually stroll across it until you find what you want. So you're not like staring into the room. You're basically assessing which room looks like it would be a children's room, and then spending time looking at it. So you go through it, and again, you see the same sort of thing where there's a common room, and it does seem like multiple families are stationed here. So these are all like upper class houses that had been repurposed to house. Presumably some of the upper echelons of the Glorious Reclamation military, or nobles that may still be living in town. So you did find in the previous adventure, or previously in this adventure, you found there are actually barracks where regular soldiers are stationed in mass, and these appear to be like more influential or higher in the ranks families. But they are still living in groups because these buildings are just so large, like the noble estates of Cheliax, they live large. So it appears as though multiple families are stationed in each of them, and you see the same sort of thing where you see people in different rooms, different couples in different rooms. But you do see that there is a room, and there are 2 children in it. You see the 3-year-old, and based on size alone, an older child in the room.
Okay. Let me just check one other thing about one of my spells.
Will my god get mad if I do this?
She doesn't have a god.
Yeah.
She very explicitly does not have a god.
My map tool just exploded.
Apologies. What happened to it?
Stack Overflow.
Stack Overflow, yeah.
It's not quite a Stack Overflow. I gotta. I'll
did
share.
you
I'll
say-
share it. Well, it's like broken.
I can't really. It's a small thing on my.
Look what happened. Look at the icons over here.
Yeah, I do see something weird happening.
Hey,
Every
that-
time I
that's
mouse
not
over
good.
one, it switches to another one.
You have icons.
Yeah, at least you have icons. He's
Ah,
blind. He's literally blind.
This is awesome. All right,
Uh,
I'm gonna restart map tool. It's so weird.
What a great tool.
Map tool. Download Sync RPG VTT. Powered by map tool.
Powered by map tool. Sinister icon music.
That's
I'm,
probably,
not,
that's
I'm not clicking.
that's
that.
good.
All right.
Skip to 11 minutes. It gets really crazy.
How long have you been listening to Sinister icon music?
At least 11 minutes.
Iwan, what are you talking about? What do you got? How does your spell work?
So, okay. Rules question quickly. Can you cast a spell, move in, and then release it immediately? Is that a thing that can happen?
Cast spell, move in, and release it.
Yes.
Is it like a
Sleep specifically.
You can cast the spell and move and touch somebody. I know that. So you're saying, can you cast, move?
Could I cast, do a move action, basically teleport in the room, and then immediately have it go off on the target?
I don't believe that's true. No.
Okay.
Yeah, because with touch spells, you hold the charge. There's a whole set of rules for holding the charge of a touch spell, but I don't think for a non-touch spell, I don't think you can do
Well,
that.
this is okay. Got it. Okay. All right. Well, then I'll just have to risk the stealth check in this case. All right. So she'll teleport into the room, as close to the younger child as possible.
All right. Bamf.
Bam. So let me just keep track of all this stuff because it might matter. And then she would basically try to just grab the kid and teleport away.
Okay.
Does the other one wake up? That's the big question. Does she see
Yeah.
the other kid wake up?
So you walk into the room, and you teleport into the room. Apologies. And you're casting what?
Well, she doesn't cast unless she sees one of them stir.
Well, I thought you were going to grab the kid and do what with it?
I'm going to grab and use that thing again, the arcane reservoir thing, to get out of the house.
Oh, okay. That's a great question. And this is what? It's not a spell-like ability, or what is it?
It's a supernatural, I believe. Let me see.
Do you have to talk to do it?
It's dimensional slide.
Got God, these guys, these fucking arcanists, I tell you.
That shit's pretty
They're
supernatural.
tricksy.
They are the worst.
Yeah, it's a supernatural.
Okay, does it say anything about talking at all?
Just says doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity when moving. No, it doesn't say anything about. It doesn't say either way.
Okay. Create a dimensional crack. You believes move back in. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see anything in the rules for Arcanist exploits that imply that you have to talk or anything. So, can you take people through with you though? It's not like a teleport spell. Because you can, like, so. Yeah, so basically you're grabbing and trying to move this child, and it's a sleep.
First, trying to just right. First, just trying to make a clean extraction to the outside of the house first.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, without having to say anything. But you tell me if that's not possible.
I'm fine with you not saying anything. That I've come to terms with. My question is now, can you push someone else through your dimensional hole? Or do you have to use like a dimension door spell and they get a will save? Or are you doing a combat maneuver to try to drag them with you? I think that's what you have to do. So if you want to use this arcane reservoir thing, you rip open a dimension door, you grab the child, and you make a combat maneuver check to drag them through with you. And they're asleep, so they have a big penalty on that. Yeah. Or you could use a spell like Dimension Door or Teleport, and they get a will save to resist you.
Okay.
They're also children, is a valid point.
Right. Let me start. Let me start by trying to just do it. Right. Worst case scenario, I end up childless on the outside of the house and do it again. But,
it's true. Well, you're struggling with the child. So basically, you open the dimension rip, and that's silent. So you made your rip, and now you have to grab the child and jump through the thing. So
right.
Go ahead and make a combat.
So I'll do.
check.
You said combat maneuver. Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that. This guy. I don't even know which one it is. I never.
It's
this guy.
It's
right.
A fist pointing,
that guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's real good. Yeah, you got a child.
That's about as good as I could have done.
Yeah. So you snatch up the unconscious child, and before it's even awake enough to make a noise, you jump through your portal and are outside.
Okay.
It is waking up in your arms though, so you have a 3-year-old confused child.
Correct. So okay. So let me burn that point. And now she'll cast sleep on it.
Okay. So now you're outside, and you have to talk in a loud, clear voice to cast spell. You can't whisper
Correct.
a spell. But you're outside,
Yeah.
and you cast sleep on it. So again, it's just waking up and mumbling to itself and not sure what's going on, and you cast sleep. So I get a will save?
Probably. Let me. I don't know if I have a macro for this or not, but let's see. Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. All right. So it rolled an 8. It does not have a +9 or whatever it needs. So no, the child is asleep.
Okay. So now she will take sleepy child. So where's the scale here? Can I dimension door outside the city? Like here?
Yeah,
or something?
that's within 800 feet. Yes.
Okay. So she will dimension door with the sleeping child outside of the city.
Fantastic. Yeah, so you bamf into the woods. And you succeed. The bamf works. Your dimension door works.
Okay. So now the other question is, does she still, from the previous casting of detect scrying or whatever it was? Is that what it was called? I think
that was what it was. Yes, right? Yeah.
Does she always sense when she's being scryed on constantly, or just right after the casting?
It says it lasts 24 hours, so you immediately become aware of any attempt. So I would assume that become aware means you continue to feel aware.
You know. Okay.
I would assume that, yeah.
Okay, so does she know that she's actively being scryed on right now?
Yes, you do feel
Okay.
that. Yes.
Okay. So basically, she'll lie the child down on the ground, and then kind of like go over and maybe find a log or a rock and like very casually sit there. All along, by the way, she's been like very focused and just kind of like surgical, and this is the first time she like puts the child on the ground and kind of like takes a minute, almost like in a braggadocio way, and sits back and starts a little bit of a rant to the angel, right? And she basically, it's like, so this whole thing that you have going on, this is going to end right now. She's like, to think I was going to figure out all this important information and like give it to you and the glorious reclamation, like I was going to do this. You knew that, right? I've been busting my ass for the past few days trying to figure this out so I can give this information to you. I wasn't lying. Like, these things, right? If I'm lying or not. I'm not lying. But despite all of that, you just had to go overboard. You had to curse me. You had to start scrying on me. Like, you just went too far, and now it's going to end. So you basically forced my hand on what I'm doing right here. So then she kind of like, after all that sort of build up, she sits back again and kind of like gets calm, and she says, let me basically tell you how this is going to go from this point forward. You're going to stop, and like, so I'm going to give you a choice here, and you determine how you want it to go. You can see this beautiful innocent child lying on the ground here, and you get to decide whether or not it lives. So you stop, basically after I stop talking, you can stop scrying. I'll give you, I don't know, 10 minutes to think it over. And if you don't stop scrying, then this child is gonna die. But that's not all that's gonna happen. You see, I'm gonna let others know of the choice that you had in this situation, and they're gonna know the potentially very poor choice you made. And so she pulls out her notebook and starts writing a note. And basically, that note is going to say, well, he'll see as she writes, like, responsibility for this tragic, avoidable death rests on the shoulders of the, like in caps, like the planetar angel. And then I forget what the mountains that he's in are, but like basically whatever she knows that mountain range area to be.
Asphodel Mountains, yeah.
So the asphodel. So she'll write, the planetar angel, and then in caps, like the asphodel mountains, who was warned of this outcome and chose it anyway. And then basically at the bottom, she'll also write, like, your leaders are not who you think they are. And so she'll display that very clearly, so that, and just like sit there for a minute while he's able to look at it. And then she'll say, and there's one final thing that needs to happen. Where I've been staying at the Lawgiver's Rest. So in three nights from now, or less, a package is going to show up for me with either my hair or my nail or whatever you took from me, you creepy bastard, while I was sitting in that pit. It's going to show up addressed to me. Otherwise, I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to do this again. And for every night in which this continues, the scrying continues, I'm going to, you see I have a long list. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do this again. You also know how resourceful I am. You've seen me in action. So I'm not going to stop. I will go to the ends of the earth, finding more and more glorious reclamation children and murdering them until you stop scrying on me. So I think basically where this is at. It's your choice how this is going to go. And so she'll end her rant. She'll put the note down, like lie it on the child. And presumably she'll have him face up. So she'll just put it on his chest. And she'll sit back and wait to see in the, like TikTok motherfucker in the 10 minutes what happens.
That is very interesting. Okay, so several minutes pass. Um, yeah, so some more time passes. So it's now been 5 minutes. So half the time is gone, and you've heard nothing, and you still get the sense that you are being scryed on. Um, yeah.
This is good. I wanted this to be tough, so this is good.
Yeah.
I'm awesome. This is great. I put you in this position. I
Yeah,
feel like.
this is I don't.
Eat that, Joey.
I don't. Yeah, I'm.
We're at the end of the session. Do you want to think about what happens and then play it up next
we
time?
Got, we got like 10 more minutes, but yeah, let's leave that on a cliffhanger so I can think, because that is extremely tough.
Yeah, think about it. Yeah.
I very much like what you did. I don't think he has a way around that. So yeah, so let's go with the 10 minutes. Let's jump back to the rest of the team.
That was amazing, brother.
That is amazing. Yeah,
that is hero point.
That is amazingly well done, and I'm stewing on it. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Anyway, that was utterly fantastic. All right, so everybody else.
I'm still good. The hero point is not going to be close, so that I won't feel bad voting for Nero.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah.
Bob comes back.
Bob comes back, and he's got Rona,
He's got Rona. Oh, shit.
but not Corey.
I'll say, where's Corey?
Corey's out on the town. He's being a boy. He wanted some freedom.
Bobby, you let him go on his own?
Diet freedom.
He's fucked.
What?
People fuck with me and I wear this shirt. Imagine him.
Well, I mean, he free to learn.
Free to learn. Here, here.
That's true. You did just put a halfling with a gold in his pocket, like, out on the streets. Remember, you got jumped. You got jumped trying to buy drugs.
Whatever.
Okay.
If he wants to be boisterous, that's on him.
Okay.
The boys are boisterous.
The boisterous boys. That is literally the name of a group chat I am in.
The boisterous boy. There is a halfling area. Thumbtown over here on the map is it's like halfling town. So if
Durin says, I'm gonna go see what he's doing. I'm gonna bring him back.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, okay. But I'll let Nero know I'm going. I'll let Nero know I'm going.
Let's get a plan together before you head off for the day.
It's still the night. It's like, but yeah.
It's bedtime now. I gotta go shopping.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking it's the morning. I'm sorry.
No, he just came back at night. So he's out at bars. So whatever. Corey's out at bars at night.
We basically operate 24/7.
Yeah, you got to sleep at some point. You need 8 hours of rest.
Turn. Let me be clear.
Yes, sir.
I think you being on the street is not worth the risk it would pose, infinitely small as it may be, for you to get back a 25 gold slave.
What? He'll be back. Don't worry about him. If he gets jumped, that's on him. Just hang out with us. Take a nap.
If it was daytime, I would have gone, but
You don't need to save him.
Dern, how long did they train you to break you when they found you?
It took a long time.
You saw the shit the other day, right?
You've had him one day, and you've given him gold and told him he's free to do whatever he wants.
I gave him gold before he was mine, basically.
Dern starts laughing, and he's like, "You gave him gold right away."
Tell you what, Dern, I'll make a wager with you. I say a gold that he's not coming back.
All right, I'll take that deal since I don't have money anyway. I am in.
Nero will shake with Dern on that. And all right, I'm gonna go to bed. Is Vors? Somebody let Vors know that he can call on me when he comes back.
Okay.
Darren will also go to bed and tell ghost stories to Corey first. Or Rona.
So Rona. All right. And Bob, are you going to bed as well?
Yeah, Bob's gonna go to bed.
Okay. Vors does get back later than everybody else. He gets back at like 1:30 or 2 in the morning.
When does Corey get back?
I mean,
When does Corey get back?
it doesn't. It hasn't happened yet. It's 2 in the morning. He's not back yet. You're asleep. I guess you'll find out in the morning. But yeah, so Vors, you get back, and I guess Nero left that with Mr. Aelith. You told him that he can call on you, or whoever's at the front desk at night.
Whoever is around, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, one of the gang runs into it because I'm going to bed.
Okay. So someone tells you, Vors, at some point. You come back to log your rest, and they tell you that you can call on Nero if you like.
Not sure there's anything worth waking him up for.
Okay. That's fine.
No, I agree. That was what Nero would do.
Nero.
Of House Nero?
Of House Nero. Third son of a third son. Alright, we got 5 minutes, but I just think we should just call it there. I have to think about this Iwan thing really heavy.
That's huge.
Alright. So yeah, so we're caught up. It's the end of Tuesday night, so tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow is the rave. What do we got? Morals. What do you
Oh, we got lots of morals. Actually, we don't have too many morals today.
Good one, son. A lot of good ones.
High quality, low quantity. Wait, hold on. This is session 15, I think. No, fuck, it's 16.
We'll fix it in post. It's fine.
Or, whoa, I'm using the baby owl. Or I'm using baby owl. I don't know if this one here is a moral. But always about the Hooters with the Abernuses.
Burn eye.
Aberni.
Burn eye.
What is an owl's stealth check, and why would you even care about an owl following her?
It's a great question.
Notably, Joe said that.
I did. I did.
We'll be at the same part of the story in a year.
Awesome.
You convince them that this is a knob that can be twisted. Or tick-tock, motherfucker.
I think the last
A
one
lot of
sums
good
up
ones.
the session. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Well,
But I do like owl stealth check a lot, but
Yeah,
that's the one.
Tick-tock, motherfucker basically describes not only this session, but this entire group.
Yeah.
Alright. Copy that. Do it. Okay, and what about MVP, as if I ask not
That's an easy one.
Yeah, come on.
Of course, Nero of House Nero.
Nero.
Yes. And Nero, by unanimous vote.
Oh, of course, Jeff. Of course, I will.
Of course, Jeff, yeah, this is
Alright.
not a question here.
Take a hero point, I win.
And we can just assume that because you forgot the session number, you get the negative point next time.
I get
Yeah.
the bad.
To anybody watching on YouTube, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell. So that you can be included in voting on dumb rules that we use later.
Well, Nostratrix has a hero point on me.
He does. He has a hero point. I'm excited to use it.
Deserves that on just handsomeness alone. My God.
Right? He's striking, if nothing else.
God, certainly striking.
Alright.
Like
Old
a ghoulish
owl.
Tom Selleck.
You've been to the whip track several times, and I've had this queued up for like ever, and I just haven't used it. I
God. We can use that the next time we go to the slave trade and just buy one to smash in front
don't
of
know.
the
Right?
one
I was like,
buying.
oh yeah, you're at all these open air markets, and it's like that's just a constant background noise you're hearing.
Nero changes orders to use a whip all the time, so you can get whip noise.
Alright, thanks for playing. That angel thing is amazing. I don't know.
That's huge.
Yeah. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.